Everybody be cool, this is a robbery!
You remember the final confrontation in the cafe? Tim Roth's character and his wife are robbing the cafe, and both Travolta and Jackson step in to save the day.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the way Tarantino linked this robbery with the very beginning was actually very clever, leading on from Bruce Willis's character saving his enemy and thus demonstrating humanity. I suppose the robbery bookends the film, if I'm using the right term, with I suppose a running theme of development, I suppose of growth, even maturity. Still, I think Samuel L. Jackson's motivations, well, ideals in the robbery scene, I think they lacked some explanation. That they came across as more or less coming from nowhere. Say, toward the beginning of the film, in one of Pulp Fiction's most famous scenes, Samuel L. Jackson's character is intimidating this person in his apartment, eating his hamburger, drinking all of his Sprite, and spouting Bible passages, and murders the guy in cold blood. But I felt there was little transition between this impassioned murderer and the calm, mellow, righteous person toward the end of the robbery. He came to realize that he was the tyranny of can't remember the exact quote, but he came to realize that he was the tyranny of old men, but he's trying like hell to be the shepherd. Meaning that I took it to mean that he felt somewhat ashamed of his lifestyle as what a mobster or hitman or whatever it was, but he's trying to get out of it.
Yeah.
But he tells us that he's trying to be the shepherd, he's trying to be a good person, but I never saw that. So I think Samuel L. Jackson's character needed work. So there could have been an extra part of the story to give this development more background, to give it more meaning.
With Samuel L. Jackson's character, I guess I was willing to let whatever he said about being at a crossroads right now. I let that line basically take care of it. Basically, he was confused. He was reevaluating his place in the universe, God, his actions, and what the miracle was actually representing in life. So with his calm demeanor, you did get that impression, I think, that he was trying to hold back, that he was actively trying not to be the guy who quotes Bible passages and then kills people. So I actually, again, I kind of liked that. I liked that it was such a fast switch, like he was perhaps waiting for something to trigger a change in his life. But, I guess I'd like to talk here in terms of general stuff. A while back, when you had first watched the movie, you had said this has probably taken your place at the number one place in your list of favorite movies. Does that still hold true at this point, now that you've thought about it a bit?
To be honest, I'm not sure. It's been months since I've seen either Frost Nixon or Pulp Fiction. But I mentioned to you a while back that, and to many of my other friends, that when I saw Frost Nixon in the cinema, I walked out of it and knew that I had probably the most satisfying experience in the cinema that I ever had. That's what led me to name Frost Nixon as the best movie I'd ever seen. But I felt similarly impressed and astonished to Tarantino's strong writing, the riveting confrontations in Pulp Fiction, the very realistic characters, and so on, while watching Pulp Fiction. But I think through the narrative being structured out of order, Pulp Fiction is a more, as I said, a more unique, more distinctive movie than Frost Nixon. I think Frost Nixon, it's a very conventional movie. Again, it is one of the best films I've ever seen, but it doesn't take any risks. It does what it tended to do very well, but it doesn't really do anything new, whereas Pulp Fiction did.
I see.
So I think, yeah, it did. Pulp Fiction did top Frost Nixon. I suppose Frost Nixon is still the best conventional film I've ever seen.
Interesting. And I'm glad you ended up having a good experience with this. I should mention to our viewers here that we had agreed to watch and review this movie. Neither of us had, before this, actually seen it. Nor have we seen any Quentin Tarantino movie in full.
Pulp Fiction was my first Tarantino film.
Likewise.
For that matter, I still need to see Kill Bill.
Yeah, I saw like the first half of it, and that's why I say I didn't see the whole thing, because apparently they just split up the movie. But yeah, I did see the first half. It had its own style, but it's definitely its own movie. As for my own impressions of the movie in general, it's another one of those cases where it is an excellently put together movie, and I now understand about 500 or so different references that have been made in pop culture over the years. It's like, oh, is that where that came from? So it's a very influential piece, and I did enjoy it, but I'm not sure it's one of those things I'd keep going back to. You know, I saw that some parts were weaker than others. There were some characters that I just adored, Jules and Wolf. You know, love those guys. Butch was a great character, but I'm not sure I'd revisit it too often, but I would not be opposed to revisiting it again.
As I said, I thoroughly enjoyed Pulp Fiction, but I should make it clear that it was a very confronting film for me. I was, rather disconcerted by the cold killings and drug use portrayed in the film. But I think it's a testament to the skill of the actors and Tarantino's very, very realistic writing, perceptive writing, that these characters, for the most part, remain likable. And Tarantino, as I said earlier, could build around them a story out of sequence, of course, but a story, even a journey of maturity and humanity. Say these people demonstrate respect and brotherhood, as exemplified by Bruce Willis's story, in spite of them being immoral and involved in criminal lives. So yeah, I think Tarantino should be commended for making such immoral people likable, making their lives so tangible and interesting to watch. He made these very confronting elements easy to stomach, I suppose.
Oh, I was just saying, in this movie in general, yeah, I guess if there's one word you can use to describe it, it's very cool. It is how I would define cool in a lot of ways. That's a pretty good review. I don't know if it's worth $5, but it's pretty good.
And you know what I could go for after that review? A Royale with cheese.